I had been looking forward to that party all week. It wasn't just any party, it was the annual celebration at my husband's company, the one everyone talked about for months. Glittering lights, music that made your chest thump, laughter echoing across the grand hall. I imagined myself gliding through the crowd, hand in hand with David, feeling like we were the perfect couple everyone envied. David, my husband of 6 years, had always been the charming, meticulous kind of man who seemed to have it all together. But lately, I don't know, I started noticing subtle changes. Small things. The way his hand lingered on his phone a little too long. The faint crease between his brows when he thought I wasn't looking. I brushed it off, convinced I was overthinking. That night, I wore a deep emerald green dress, the kind that hugged my curves just right. My hair was pulled back in a loose, elegant knot, and I felt powerful, beautiful, confident. Wow, David said as I emerged from the bedroom. He smiled that smile, the one that made my stomach twist with love and fear all at once. You look incredible. Thanks, I said, trying to sound casual. You look good too. His suit was perfectly tailored, and he smelled like that expensive cologne I secretly loved. But even as he complimented me, I noticed it. The way his eyes scanned the room as if he were already halfway distracted. The party was everything I imagined. Crystal chandeliers cast soft glows. Laughter floated through the air like champagne bubbles. And everywhere I looked, there were familiar faces smiling at me. I stuck close to David at first, letting him introduce me to colleagues and clients, all the while sipping my champagne and trying not to notice the subtle tension creeping between us. Then, at some point, I can't even remember exactly when, I looked around and realized he wasn't there. David, gone. I brushed it off. He's probably talking to someone, I muttered to myself. But minutes stretched into longer minutes. I excused myself from a conversation about a new project and started scanning the crowd. And then I noticed him, or rather, noticed her. There was a woman, laughing at something David said, leaning too close to him, touching his arm in a way that made my stomach twist. She was beautiful, yes, but there was something sharp about her, almost predatory. I felt heat rising to my cheeks, a mixture of anger and confusion. David? I called, moving toward them. He turned, and for a split second, I saw that flicker in his eyes, the guilty, fleeting glance you try to hide when you've been caught, thinking about something you shouldn't. Hey, he stammered, too casual. His hand lingered just a second too long near hers. Hi, I said, forcing a smile, though my chest felt tight. I was looking for you. Whoa. I, got caught up talking to, someone from the marketing team. His voice was smooth, practiced. But the way he avoided eye contact made my heart race. I nodded slowly, pretending to be calm. But inside I was boiling. I excused myself to get a glass of water, needing a moment to breathe. When I returned to where David had been, they were gone. Both of them. Just vanished. I wandered through the party, searching, asking people if they'd seen him. Oh, I think he stepped outside for a call. Someone said casually. Maybe 5 minutes. I checked my watch. 30 minutes had passed. Panic started to bubble under my skin. This wasn't like David. He always told me if he was stepping away, even for a moment. And now, there was no trace of him. No explanation. I stepped outside into the crisp night air, the city lights twinkling like 1,000 tiny lies. I tried calling him. Straight to voicemail. I texted. No reply. Then my phone buzzed. A message from David. Don't wait for me. Be back when you're ready. My hand shook as I read it. I stared at the screen, confused, hurt, angry. What did that even mean? Why would he just vanish like that? At a party we were supposed to attend together? I went back inside, my mind racing. The music felt too loud, the laughter too sharp. Every smiling face looked like a mask. Every conversation a lie I was too aware of. I wandered aimlessly, my heels clicking against the marble floor, until finally I found a quiet corner. I needed air, needed space to think. Minutes passed. Or maybe it was hours. My sense of time had gone skewed. Then, I saw someone approaching. It was one of David's colleagues, someone I barely knew, and yet their expression made my stomach twist even further. Hey, they said nervously. Can I talk to you? It's about David. About him? I asked, my voice shaking slightly. Is he okay? The person hesitated, glancing around like we were about to share a dangerous secret. He went outside with someone. A woman. I didn't see everything, but my chest tightened. My vision blurred. My mind screamed in denial, in disbelief. I wanted to laugh, to shake my head, to tell myself I was imagining things. But deep down, a cold, undeniable truth began to form. David had disappeared at the party. Not for a phone call. Not for work. And when he came back, I had no idea what I would find. Because deep down, I knew something had changed. Something between us. Something I couldn't ignore anymore. And the night was far from over. I took a deep breath, trying to steady myself, and whispered to no one in particular, "Where the hell have you gone, David?" I had no idea that the answer to that question would shatter everything I thought I knew about my marriage. I waited, pacing near the balcony, my heels clicking against the polished floor. The party was still alive with laughter and music, but I felt like I was standing on the edge of a storm, the calm before something terrifying. Every laugh, every cheer felt like it was mocking me. I tried calling David again. No answer. I tried texting. "Please just tell me where you are." Nothing. My chest tightened with a mix of fear and fury. How could someone just disappear without a word? Especially at a party we were supposed to enjoy together. Minutes later, I saw him. David was walking toward the exit, his expression strange. Not the familiar confident smile, not the charming sparkle in his eyes. It was tense, guarded, almost secretive. "David," I called, hurrying after him. He glanced over his shoulder, and I saw a flicker of panic before he forced his smile back into place. "Hey," he said, casually, as if nothing was wrong. "I just needed some air." "Some air?" I asked, trying to keep my voice steady. "It's been over an hour. Where were you? Who were you with?" David's eyes flicked away. He sighed, running a hand through his hair. "It's complicated." "Complicated?" I snapped, feeling my patience snap like a brittle thread. "David, I'm not a child. You can't just vanish, leave me alone at your company party, and then come back acting like nothing happened." He flinched at the tone of my voice. For a moment, I saw a flash of something, guilt, shame, before it disappeared behind his usual calm exterior. "I didn't mean to worry you," he said, his voice low. "I just needed a break. That's all." "A break?" I repeated, incredulous. "From what?" "From me." He hesitated, and that hesitation was worse than any confession. "No, it's not like that. I needed to clear my head. That's all." I stared at him, heart pounding. "David, if something is going on, you need to tell me. I'm not stupid. I can feel it. You've been different lately. And tonight proves it. Something's happening, isn't it?" He looked away, jaw tight. I could see the internal battle raging behind his eyes. He wanted to say something, but the words wouldn't come. "David," I said softly, stepping closer. "Whatever it is, we can handle it. But lying, hiding, disappearing, that only destroys us. I need the truth." For a long, heavy moment, he didn't respond. Then, almost whispering, he said, "I can't tell you. Not yet." The words hit me like a punch to the gut. "Not yet? David, you're asking me to trust you while you disappear and leave me guessing? That's not trust. That's betrayal waiting to happen." He flinched again, but he still didn't speak. I could feel my anger mixing with fear. Something was happening, something he was hiding from me. And the longer he kept it from me, the more I feared what it could be. "I need space," he finally said, his voice hollow. "I'll talk to you later." Before I could respond, he turned and walked away, disappearing into the night. I felt like the ground had been pulled out from under me. I stayed by the balcony, trying to calm my racing thoughts. The party blurred around me, people laughing, music pounding, champagne flowing, but none of it reached me. All I could focus on was him leaving me, the way his eyes avoided mine, the cold finality in his voice. I felt my phone buzz. A message from an unknown number. "If you really want to know the truth about David, meet me at the park near 5th Street. Alone. Now." My heart stopped. I didn't know who it was, but I felt a mixture of dread and curiosity that I couldn't ignore. Was it a friend trying to warn me? Or someone else? Someone involved in whatever secret David was hiding? I debated calling the police, calling David's office, but a part of me, the part that had loved him for years, wanted answers before anyone else could interfere. I had to know. I grabbed my coat, leaving my purse behind. I knew it was reckless, but I couldn't shake the urgency pulsing through me. The walk to the park was tense. The city streets were quiet, almost eerily so compared to the noise of the party. Every shadow seemed to move. Every whisper of wind sounded like a warning. My hands trembled, not from the cold, but from anticipation and fear. When I arrived, I saw a figure standing under a street lamp. A woman. Short, dark hair, a sharp expression that seemed both familiar and threatening. My stomach clenched. "You're the one who texted me?" I asked, keeping my voice steady. She nodded. "Yeah. I'm the one who knows what David's been hiding." I felt a cold wave of dread. "What? What do you mean?" "Tell me." She glanced around nervously, then stepped closer. Her eyes were intense. "You don't want to know, but you need to. He's not who you think he is. That woman at the party tonight, she's only the beginning. What he's doing, it's worse than you can imagine." My chest tightened. "Worse? What do you mean?" She hesitated, biting her lip. "I shouldn't even be here, but you deserve to know. He's been." She took a deep breath. "He's been seeing someone else. And it's not just a fling. He's planning something. And if you don't act fast, you're going to lose everything." I felt my knees weaken. My hands shook. "David, cheating? No. He wouldn't. I'm telling you the truth," she said firmly. "Go home. Confront him. Figure out what he's planning. But be careful, he's not the man you think you married." And just like that, she turned and disappeared into the darkness, leaving me alone, trembling, my heart shattered into 1,000 jagged pieces. I stood there, trying to process what she had just told me. My mind raced with questions, fears, and suspicions. How long had this been going on? Who was she? Was she telling the truth or trying to manipulate me? The truth was, I had no idea. But one thing was certain. The man I had married, the man I thought I knew, had secrets. Dangerous secrets. And tonight, everything had started to unravel. I walked back to the party hall, my mind a whirlwind of anger and fear. David was inside somewhere, probably laughing, probably pretending nothing had happened. And I just knew, that when I confronted him, nothing would ever be the same, because the real betrayal was waiting. And I had no idea how deep it ran. I stepped through the party doors, and my eyes locked on David, standing there smiling at someone he shouldn't have been smiling at. I froze the moment I saw him. David, standing there, leaning just a little too close to her. That same woman from earlier, the one I had seen laughing at him, touching his arm. My stomach twisted, my heart hammering so loudly I thought everyone would hear it. For a second, I couldn't breathe. I couldn't think. All the warnings, the unease, the strange messages, the vanishing act. It all came crashing down in one unbearable wave. I stepped closer, my heels clicking sharply on the marble floor, forcing him to finally look my way. His eyes widened, just for a second. But that second was enough to see guilt flashing across his face. "David." My voice was sharp, louder than I intended. Heads turned. Laughter stopped. Conversations paused. All eyes on us. He turned fully toward me, trying to smooth the panic from his expression. "Hey, don't," I interrupted, my voice trembling with rage. "Don't start. I saw you. I know what's been happening." The woman looked at me, startled, and took a step back, her smile fading. David's jaw tightened. He ran a hand through his hair, clearly caught off guard. "Wait, what do you mean?" he asked, his voice faltering. "I mean, I know," I snapped, taking a step closer. "I know you disappeared for over an hour. I know about her, about whatever this is between you two. I don't know how long it's been going on, David, but I do know that I trusted you and you've been lying to me." The murmurs from the crowd grew. People were whispering, casting sideways glances. I didn't care. My world had narrowed down to the two of them, and the truth I needed to hear. He swallowed hard. "It's not what you think, not what I think," I repeated, feeling tears sting my eyes. "David, she was laughing at your jokes, touching your arm, and you disappeared at the party without a word. How is that not what I think?" He looked down, guilt plain on his face. I didn't want to hurt you." "Didn't want to hurt me?" I laughed, bitter and hollow. "Do you have any idea what you've done already? You've broken me. And you think hiding it will somehow make it better?" The woman took another step back, now clearly uncomfortable. I didn't mean. "Stay out of this," I said, my voice low and deadly. She hesitated, then quietly left. I turned back to David, the anger boiling up like lava. "Tell me everything. Right now." He ran a hand over his face, clearly torn between shame and fear. I didn't know how to tell you. I didn't mean for it to go this far." "Go this far?" I echoed. "David, look at me." I grabbed his arm. He flinched, but didn't pull away. "How long?" How long has this been happening? His eyes met mine, full of regret, full of fear. A few months. It started. I don't know. I thought it was just harmless, just attention. But it got complicated. And then tonight, at the party, You what? My voice broke, tears streaming down my cheeks. Did you think I wouldn't find out? Did you think disappearing for an hour, leaving me alone, would hide it? He swallowed, looking utterly defeated. I didn't want to lose you. I thought I could stop. I thought I could. Fix it before it went too far. Fix it? I screamed. People were staring now, some whispering, some shocked. David, there's no fixing this. You've lied, betrayed, and humiliated me. And you still don't even know how to admit it fully. He hung his head. I'm sorry. I really am. I never meant for it to hurt you like this. Sorry? I laughed through my tears, a sound that was more bitter than anything else. Sorry doesn't erase the betrayal, David. Sorry doesn't bring back my trust. Sorry doesn't undo the way my heart feels right now, shattered into pieces by the person I love the most. The crowd had grown silent now. I didn't care. None of this mattered except for him, the man I thought I knew, standing before me with his lies. I can explain, he said softly. Please let me explain. I shook my head. No. There's nothing to explain that can make this right. You made your choices, David. And now? Now I have to make mine. His eyes widened. Wait, what do you mean? I said slowly, feeling a cold clarity settle in my chest. I can't just stay and pretend nothing happened. I need space. I need to think. I need to figure out if I can ever trust you again. And right now, I can't. Before he could respond, I turned and walked out of the hall. He called after me, his voice desperate. But I didn't stop. Every step I took felt like the first real step in reclaiming some part of myself he had almost destroyed. Outside, the cold night air hit me like a slap. I pulled my coat tighter around me, trying to hold myself together. My hands shook. My mind raced. I had loved him, trusted him, and now I didn't even know who he was anymore. I pulled out my phone, scrolling through the messages he had been hiding, the calls he had deleted. Each discovery was like a knife twisting deeper into my chest. And with every secret I uncovered, my resolve hardened. I couldn't let this go. I couldn't just cry and forgive. Not now. Not when the betrayal was so deep, so blatant. Somewhere in the shadows of the city, I felt something ignite in me, a determination, a fire that said, he will regret this. He will pay for making me feel small, for making me doubt myself, for trying to destroy us without a word. But as I stood there, in the quiet darkness, I realized something terrifying. I wasn't just angry anymore. I was afraid. Afraid of what I didn't know. Afraid of what else he might be hiding. Afraid that the man I had married, the man I had loved, might be gone entirely, replaced by someone I no longer recognized. And I knew, without a doubt, that confronting him tonight was only the beginning. The real storm was still coming. I didn't know it yet, but the truth I had uncovered tonight was just the tip of the iceberg. And what awaited me would change everything I thought I knew about David and our marriage. The next morning, the apartment felt colder than usual, though the heater was on. I sat at the kitchen table, cradling a cup of coffee that had gone cold hours ago, staring blankly out the window. The city buzzed with life below, completely oblivious to the storm raging inside me. David hadn't come home. His side of the bed was untouched, his toothbrush still in place. I didn't call. I didn't know what I wanted, answers, confrontation, or simply proof that I hadn't imagined the entire nightmare of last night. Then my phone buzzed. A message from him. Can we talk? Please. I need you to hear everything. I know I've ruined everything, but you deserve the truth. My fingers hovered over the screen. Part of me wanted to throw the phone against the wall. Part of me wanted to scream. And yet another part, the part that still loved him, wanted to run into his arms and beg him not to leave me. I replied slowly, come home. Now. We talk. Everything. Minutes later, the familiar click of the lock signaled his arrival. I didn't move from the table. I waited. The apartment door opened, and he stepped in looking defeated. His suit from last night was crumpled, his hair messy, and there was a shadow under his eyes I hadn't noticed before. Sit, I said, my voice steady, though my hands shook. He obeyed, sitting opposite me at the kitchen table, his hands clasped together like a schoolboy waiting for punishment. I'm ready, I said. Tell me everything. He took a deep breath, and for the first time, I saw him as he really was. Not the confident, charming man everyone admired, but someone broken, someone human, someone who had made terrible choices. It started months ago, he began, his voice low. At work, I met someone. She was flirty, attention-seeking, and he paused, swallowing hard. I made a mistake. I thought it was just harmless, just a way to feel appreciated. But then it became more, and I got in too deep. I didn't know how to stop. I stared at him, my heart pounding. And the party last night? I ran into her. She wanted more than I could give. I panicked. I didn't know how to get out of it without hurting you, so I vanished. I left the party hoping to think straight, to figure out what to do. But I failed. I failed you. Tears blurred my vision. Anger and heartbreak collided inside me. Failed me? David, this isn't failing me. This is betrayal. You don't get to call this failing when you've been sneaking, lying, and hiding from me. How could you? How could you do this to us? He looked down, shame flooding his face. I don't know. I'm so sorry. I never wanted to hurt you. I thought I could control it, that I could. I don't know, fix it before it became real. But I couldn't. I shook my head, struggling to breathe. Fix it? You called cheating, lying, and abandoning me for over an hour at a party fixing it? You've destroyed everything, David. Everything we built. Everything I believed about you. I know, he whispered, voice cracking. I know, and I don't expect forgiveness. I don't expect anything. I just wanted to tell you the truth before it was too late. Silence fell between us, heavy and suffocating. I wanted to scream, cry, run, and throw things all at once. My mind was spinning, trying to process the magnitude of what he'd admitted. And then, the part of me that had felt that icy spark of determination last night, the part of me that refused to let him walk all over me, surfaced. You need to understand something, David, I said, my voice low but steady. This isn't just about the cheating. This is about trust. This is about respect. This is about me and how you've treated me like I didn't matter. And that is something I won't let slide. He nodded, guilt evident. I know. I understand. I'll do anything to make it right. Anything? I asked, raising an eyebrow. Really? Yes, he said earnestly. Anything. Name it. I leaned back, crossing my arms. Then here's the first step. You need to cut all contact with her. Delete her number. Lock her everywhere. No excuses. If I see or hear anything again, it's over. Understood. His eyes met mine, wide and desperate. Understood. Good. My voice hardened. Next. You need to answer some questions. No lying. No hiding. No excuses. And then, I decide if this marriage even has a chance of surviving. For the next hour, I grilled him. Every text he deleted, every secret meeting, every late night call. He answered honestly, sometimes flinching, sometimes crying, sometimes just staring blankly at the table. And as the truth spilled out, something inside me shifted. I realized the man I loved wasn't perfect. He was flawed, reckless, human. And yet, even with all the betrayal, even with all the lies, there was a part of me that still wanted him, that still hoped we could survive this. But hope alone wasn't enough. Trust had to be rebuilt. And if he failed even once more, it would be the end. By the time the sun was rising, painting the room in soft pink and gold, we were exhausted. He sat there, defeated but honest, and I sat across from him, my emotions raw and unfiltered. And that's when I realized this wasn't just a turning point for him. It was a turning point for me. For the first time in months, I felt a strange clarity, a sense of control. I had the power to decide how this would end, and I wasn't going to let fear or heartbreak dictate my choices. But just as I was starting to feel some semblance of strength, my phone buzzed again. Another message. Unknown number. He's lying to you. The truth is worse than you know. Meet me. Tonight. Alone. I dropped the phone, my stomach twisting, and I knew. The storm wasn't over. It was only getting stronger. I had thought I knew the worst about David, but the next revelation would make last night's betrayal look like child's play. That night, I couldn't sleep. The apartment felt suffocating, the shadows of betrayal stretching across every wall. David sat quietly on the couch, exhausted and remorseful, clearly expecting me to either forgive him or break down completely. But I wasn't ready for either. Not yet. The message from the unknown number burned in my mind. He's lying to you. The truth is worse than you know. Meet me. Tonight. Alone. Fear, curiosity, and anger tangled together inside me. I couldn't ignore it. I needed answers, even if it meant stepping further into the storm. I'm going out, I said suddenly, grabbing my coat. David looked up, concern flashing in his eyes. Where? He asked, voice weary but alert. I'll be back, I said firmly. Don't try to stop me. I need to know the truth. He didn't protest. He just nodded, resigned. I knew he didn't want me to leave, but he also knew there was no stopping me when I was determined. The streets were cold, the city lights reflecting off wet asphalt. I kept my head down, walking quickly, my heart pounding. Every step felt like a countdown to something I feared and craved in equal measure. The park was quiet, shadowed by the looming silhouettes of bare trees. And there, under the dim glow of a street lamp, stood the same woman from the last message. Her eyes were sharp, almost predatory, but there was a seriousness in her gaze I couldn't ignore. You came, she said, almost as if she were relieved. Tell me everything, I said, my voice trembling but strong. No lies. No holding back. She hesitated, then nodded. Okay, but you need to brace yourself. This isn't just about the woman at the party. It's bigger. Much bigger. I felt a chill crawl down my spine. Bigger how? She's just one piece, the woman said. David. He's been involved in something else. Something dangerous. Not illegal. Not exactly. But he's been hiding a double life from you. A life that could ruin everything if you don't act fast. My heart raced. A double life? What do you mean? She's not lying about the affair, she said firmly. But it's not the worst part. He's been meeting with people. Secretly. Talking about things. About decisions that could destroy your family, your life, and your trust in him completely. He's not just cheating, he's planning something that he hasn't told you about. And the longer you wait, the worse it gets. I stumbled back, trying to process her words. My mind spun with the implications. Could it really be true? Was this just another layer of lies? Or worse? Had I been living with a stranger all along, masquerading as my husband? Why are you telling me this? I asked, anger and fear mixing. Why not just leave it alone? Because if I don't, you'll never have a chance to protect yourself, she said. He's clever. He can manipulate. He can lie. And he's counting on you trusting him. Right now, you have to decide, do you trust him blindly, or do you dig deeper before it's too late? I clenched my fists. The betrayal, the lies, the vanished hours, the secret meetings, all of it had led to this moment. I realized that forgiving him blindly now would be foolish. I needed the truth. I needed proof. I left the park, storming back through the streets, my mind a whirlwind of plans and questions. When I returned, David was still there, waiting. He looked at me, anxious. Did you think about what we talked about? I did, I said, my voice steady but cold. And I realized something. I don't just want to forgive you. I want to know everything. Tonight. No secrets. No more lies. Otherwise, it's over. He flinched but nodded, sitting down. I watched him closely, studying his every move, every hesitation, every flicker in his eyes. Then, I asked the question I had been avoiding, the one that had been gnawing at me for weeks. Who is she? The woman from the party. Tell me everything about her. Who is she to you? David hesitated. The pause was like a dagger. She's someone from work, someone who made a mistake. But it wasn't supposed to go this far. I didn't plan for it to affect us. I swear. Stop, I said sharply. I don't care about excuses anymore. I want facts. Names, dates, everything. If I find out later you're hiding anything, it's over. Understand? Yes, he whispered, voice barely audible. I understand. The next hours were like peeling back layer after layer of a rotten onion. Every truth was worse than the last. Every lie I hadn't known about added weight to the betrayal I had already felt. But as painful as it was, a part of me felt alive. I had the control now. I had the power to decide the fate of our marriage. And then, just as dawn was breaking, I saw it, the ultimate betrayal. The final piece that shattered the fragile illusion I had of our life together. David hadn't just been cheating. He hadn't just been hiding secrets. He had been planning, manipulating, and making choices that could destroy everything I held dear. My heart broke all over again, and rage surged through me like wildfire. I stood up, my decision crystal clear. David, I said, voice trembling but resolute. This ends tonight. Whatever happens, you and I. It ends here if you don't tell me everything. Every detail. Or I walk away. Forever. His face went pale. He opened his mouth to speak, But I didn't let him finish. I knew the battle for my heart, for my dignity, wasn't over. But I also knew something vital. I wasn't a victim anymore. I was a woman who had been betrayed, yes. But now she held the power. And for the first time in weeks, I felt something I hadn't felt in a long time: strength. Because some betrayals can break you, but some betrayals can also make you unstoppable. David looked at me, desperate, broken, and terrified, as if he finally understood the truth. I wasn't the same woman he had married, and this time he had no idea if he could ever win me back.